All right, shalom, shalom to the nation of Israel, shalom. All right, this is your brother Kazaki out of Great Millstone, New Orleans, coming at you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shah, right? But prior to getting started, we want to give all infinite honor and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem HaKakadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone who rule and teach well. Peace, blessings, and salutations be to the hopeful elect, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, all right? And title of today's lesson is going to be Prove Your Worth, right? And it's basically going from we're saying that based on a trial-to-trial basis, okay? You know, you got to go ahead and prove to Yahweh Shema Shai that, you know, you're basically worthy of selection in the first place, okay? Because right now we're set at what? We're set at basically the proving grounds, right? This is a training season, right? And the test is soon to be presented before everybody, right? Because everybody's going to have to do what? They're going to have to make that decision to either take the MOTB or not, right? And I'm going to go ahead and kick it off with this here first precept. This is Salakia. Bear that with me. All right. This is 2 Timothy 2:15. It says, "Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth." Right? And I'll read the same verse in the GNT. It says, "Do your best to win full approval in God's sight." Right? You know, because the selection is out. Now we know the Lord has already preordained, predestinated, and pre-selected who he wanted to receive salvation, you know, but by us not knowing, who we are, whether we're going to be selected or not, through the spirit, you know, we continue to go out, do the work and do the will, right? And we're basically continuing on being what? You know, tried within the faith, man. Okay. We're continuing trying to prove our worth because we really don't know whether we have the number or not. Okay. And it says, as a worker who is not ashamed of his work, right? And it says, one who correctly teaches the message of God's truth, right? So, and that's what we do, you know, week in and week out. We teach the truth of Yahweh Shema Shai. Okay, we teach the Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole Indian man, woman, and child that they're Israelites, man. And that, guess what? All the other nations are going into slavery, according to the scriptures, man. And the only nation that will not recover from going into slavery is Esau, Edom, okay? The Edomites, according to biblical prophecy, man, which is the so-called white man. They're the only people that will not recover, right? After 1,000 years of reign, okay, they're going to be gathered together, you know, and, are burned, okay, you know, put to death from Yahweh Shema Shai, right? So, so yeah, man, you know, that's our job, man. Our job is to prove our worth, man. You know, you go out, you know, you have a team, you know, you want to prove that whatever your capabilities are, you want to be able to prove it, man. Okay. If you if you know, eventually when your time comes, you know, you might feel as though you're a good preceptor. You might feel like that's something you can do. You might be a really strong reader, or you might be you know, a good in both areas, or maybe you're a history guy, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. Eventually the Lord is going to give you the platform. If you be one of the men, and Lord willing we are, he's going to give you that platform to be able to increase your talent and put your talent out there, man. The scriptures say that right, let me get this real quick, talking about you letting your light shine. Okay, this is Matthew 5 and verse 14. It says, "Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid," right? And then it says, "Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and give it light unto all that are in the house," right? So we're spreading the wisdom, man. We're spreading the truth. We're spreading the knowledge and the understanding of the scriptures, man. Okay, you know, that's the light, man. Okay, and I'm gonna get another verse. Read another verse. It says, let your light so shine before men, and we're letting it shine, man. Okay, you know, we're putting it out there. You know, putting our best foot forward. You know, going out on the highways and hedges, week in and week out, and you know, preaching, you know, the good news. Okay, to the 1/3, you know, of Israel. Okay, hoping to basically, you know, gather the 1/3 from, you know, around the earth, so to speak. Now we know, you know, through the word, you know, we're doing it through the word because the Lord's the one that's actually gathering the people. You know what I'm saying? But he's using the prophets, you know what I'm saying, to you know, in the order of things. Okay, you know, putting his words out there on the forefront, the truth out there on the forefront. Okay, and that's a part of doing what? That's a part of proving your worth, man. You know what I'm saying? You can't take your talent and hide it in a napkin. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Which basically means you can't take this truth and just do nothing with it. Okay, you know, you know, the Lord's not looking for, you know, keyboard warriors, man. He's looking for people that's going to you know, basically make their bodies a living sacrifice for him. Okay, that's what he's looking for. All right. I'm gonna get one more verse on that light real quick, then I'm gonna go to another precept. This is Baruch 4 and verse 2. It says, turn thee, O Jacob, and take hold of it. Walk in the presence of the light thereof. Right? It says, it says that thou mayest be illuminated. Okay? And that's what we are, man. You know, basically to the people, you know, the illuminated ones. Because guess what? Esau, Edom, right? He has his, you know, so-called, you know, secret society, you know, in basically the Illuminati, right? Which means illuminated ones, but not the Lord, you know, they work on the left-hand side. Okay? All right? Now the Lord has his men, which works on the righteous side, which is basically, we're basically illuminated ones too as well, right? The ones that's bringing forth the light, which is the truth, the knowledge, the wisdom and understanding of the scriptures. Okay, you know, that's what we're doing. You know. All right. Let's go get another precept. Let's see, yeah. All right. This is Titus 3 and verse 8. It says, this is a faithful saying, and these things I will that thou affirm constantly. It says that they which have believed, right, believed in God might be careful to maintain good works, man. Okay, so, you know, like I said, a part of proving the worth of, you know, of yourself, right, through your trials or tribulations. Okay, you're going to maintain a steady balance of good works toward the Lord, man. Okay, you're going to make sure that you're doing all the necessary things to be what? To be saved, right? You want to be saved at the end of the day. You want salvation, man. Okay, the Lord laid basically the blueprint out for you so that you can get it. Okay, you know, because we know the elect basically has what? They have certain attributes about themselves that what? You know, go back into the scriptures where you can be able to tell that, hey, this person may be sincere, this person can get it, this brother's on a roll, so on and so forth. Okay, you know, and that's what the Lord's doing, man. He's putting every man in their order. Okay, you know, but you got to go out there and put the legwork in, man. You got to go out there and do the work. You can't get paid, you know what I'm saying, to do a job and you didn't do the work in order to get paid in the first place. You know, that doesn't work in the world, you know, and it's definitely not going to work with the Lord, man. Okay, and it says these things are good and profitable unto men. Okay, So, you know, do the good works, man. Through the spirit and power, Yahweh Shema Shah, put your, you know, your best foot forward, right? Okay. Prove your worth to him, man. Prove you're worthy. Prove that you're worthy of selection, man. You know, at the end of the day, you know, because the Lord's, you know, looking for that. You know, he's looking for that man that's, you know, passionate for the word. He's looking for the man that loves the rule in the spirit, right? He's looking for the guy that's going to go above and beyond a measure, man. You know, he's looking for the man that is willing to push himself, you know, to the max, man. Okay. And the Lord will do the rest. He's going to take care of the rest. Okay. But, you know, like I said, you got to do it. Okay. All right. Let's get another precept. Let's go here. All right, I'm gonna start here. This is 1 Peter 1 and verse 6. It says, wherein ye greatly rejoice, though now for a season, if need be, ye are in heaviness through manifold temptations. Verse 7, it says, that the trial of your faith, being much more precious than of gold that perisheth. Okay, and that's what we're entering into, man. We're entering into the trial of our faith. Like I said, you know, right now, you know, we're in the proving grounds, and the time is to do what? To prove it now, man. Okay. You know, but every man is going to be what? Is going to be given that test, man. Okay. You know, the Lord gave you the blueprint to be able to pass the test. And that's faith in Yahweh Shema Shai. Trust in the Lord all the way. Right. The scriptures tell you to say, trust in the Lord with all thine heart. Right. And lean not on your own understanding. Okay. And it takes all the mind to believe that the Lord is going to be able to save you for these things. Right. Because on the opposite end of the spectrum, in Jeremiah, I believe it's Jeremiah the 17th chapter, it says the heart above is what? You know, it's basically the most deceitful of all things, man. The mind can be terribly wicked. Right. You know what I'm saying? So you need to be able to tap in the spirit and operate in the spirit, right? You be given that trial, okay? You want to pass it, okay? You trust and believe in Yahweh Shema Shai. And it says, though it be tried with fire, might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. Right? So though we go through great adversities, great trials, great tribulations, okay, that you may be basically found acceptable to Yahweh Shema Shai. You might be found acceptable, you know, to the Lord, man. You know, you basically passing the test, so to speak. Okay. There's another scripture I want to get. I'm gonna get this real quickly. This is Revelation 3 and verse 10. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience. Right? Okay. Because right now we're being afflicted. We're suffering, man. You know, keeping the words of Yahweh Shema Shai, because everybody and everything is against the world. I mean, against the Lord, man. Everything in the world is against him. It's contrary. But we're here. We're completely surrounded in it. Okay. But now, you know, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai, we also understand that, you know, the Lord is with us, man. You know, Lord willing, like I said, we be at that number. Okay. We understand how the Lord moves, how he's operating, man. That we're really not alone, even though we're placed in a hostile environment. Okay. And it says, I also would keep thee from the hour of temptation, man. Okay. You know, and, you know, basically, let me read the rest of that. It says, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Okay. So yeah, man, you know, the Lord is going to find a way to preserve his men, the selected women, the children, to pass the test. okay? Somehow, some way, right, through miracles, through, basically outlets, spiritual outlets, okay? Like I said, the different miracles that the Lord is going to do, because that's what he's going to have to perform, right? You're going to have AI, you're going to have robots, you're going to have technology, basically, at its finest, man, okay? That's what you're going to have going on. And I'm going to wrap this up real quick because I'm on the clock, over here at the plantation. But it says, verse 11, it says, behold, I come quickly, hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown, man. So yeah, man, don't let anybody do what, man? Take away your reward, man, okay? Because that's what the crown represents. The crown represents the reward that Yahweh Shema Shai is going to give to the man, okay? It basically represents what? Basically the kingdom of heaven, okay? All right. But I'm gonna have to cut it short, like I said, on the clock. Like I said, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying, first and foremost, to the hopeful elect, man. Go out there, and prove your worth, man. Prove to Yahweh Shema Shai that you have even the potential of being worthy, man, to receive salvation, man. The Lord wants to see the men put in the work. That's exactly what you got to do. You got to put in the work, okay? Like I said, you're not going to get paid to do a job and you just don't do the job at all, but somebody's going to pay you big money, okay? The kingdom of heaven is forever, man, okay? You're fighting for eternity. You're fighting for salvation, to be saved, to get out of here. You're fighting for immortality, man, okay? Those are big wages that's being put in front of you and on the table. But like I said, that's pretty much all I have through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai. Lord willing, this was edifying, first and foremost, to the hopeful elect. But prior to getting out of here, we want to give all infinite honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone, who rule and teach well. Peace, blessings, and salutations be to the hopeful elect scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, all right? Kwame Asha Allah, Ababa Ball, and Shalom.